تماما صحيح. حتى الآن صعب الصوت حتى الآن صعب. كيف هيك الصوت؟ صوت المايك ولا الجوال؟
Good evening, welcome to day 4 of the truce coverage as more hostages are handed over by Hamas to the Red Cross, and according to reports are making their way back to Israel as we speak.
احنا المايك ما غيرنا مكانه، الامور زي ما هي.
Here, of course, to bring you the latest developments. We'll have a look through social media, find out what's been saying on there, bring you some of the videos. Live shot at the minute is from, well, it keeps switching. At the minute it's from Rafah Crossing in Israel. Constant flow of trucks today. It's been quite busy actually in terms of the amount of aid. Picture quality is good, been better, but of course it's getting dark now, so sort of in and out in terms of what we can see. But we'll bring you the latest, and please like and share the video. Remember on Twitter, @News4U_Live, send us your thoughts, your comments. The quality tonight on the camera's audio is not particularly great, but we'll do our best to stay with it. Really crackly tonight, which probably means that it's still raining. So thank you for joining the stream. Feel free to leave your comments, send your thoughts, any questions that you've got, and we'll do our best to answer them. But another busy day, a day where potentially there's an agreement in place to extend. Turn that audio down a little bit, to extend the deal by a couple of days. Looks like it's potentially an option. Several countries are working together to try and solidify that deal between Hamas and Israel. More trucks at the minute currently arriving at the Rafah crossing. Not really sure what they are, but we'll try and figure it out. Let's get some updates and find out what is happening. Remember, like and share the video. Otherwise, the way Twitter works, no one can end up finding the video. Well, it's been a very busy day. That is for sure. That is for sure. 50 minutes ago, the Israeli Defense Force, 8 containers carrying diesel fuel and cooking gas were transferred from Egypt to UN humanitarian aid organisations in Gaza as part of the pause and the hostage release framework reached with the US through the mediation of Qatar and Egypt. It's 50 minutes ago. So not long after the latest batch is the wrong word, but you know what I mean. The latest group of hostages, which is not so many today. There's not a massive amount that's been returned. 8 containers carrying diesel fuel and cooking gas were transferred from Egypt to humanitarian aid organisations in Gaza as part of the pause and the hostage release framework reached with the US through the mediation of Qatar and Egypt. The fuel and cooking gas are designated for the operation of vital humanitarian infrastructure in Gaza. Israel, of course, have been saying that they're worried about where things are going to end up. 200 humanitarian aid trucks are also being dispatched to international aid organisations operating inside Gaza. Trucks only carry food, water, shelter equipment and medical supplies. Let me show you a video of that. Hopefully it will be in English. One moment, thank you. Okay, let's show you this. This has been posted from the IDF. Trust me to pick a video that's got no sound. That's what it says anyway. That's what's there. Sound starts halfway through the video, but you're not missing anything there. 8 containers carrying diesel fuel and cooking gas were transferred from Egypt to UN humanitarian aid organisations in Gaza as part of the pause and the hostage release framework reached with the US through the mediation of Qatar and Egypt. Fuel and cooking gas are designated for operation of vital humanitarian infrastructure inside Gaza, and 200 humanitarian aid trucks are also being dispatched to international aid organisations operating inside Gaza. The trucks only carry food, water, shelter equipment, and medical supplies. And if you want to see that post, it's on the IDF page on X, and I'll repost it on at News for You Live as well. Off a border crossing, fairly quiet. A couple of trucks moving through. Again, a steady flow of trucks that's been arriving and departing all day.
Distance no longer carries.
And here's another video from the IDF that was put out a little bit earlier today.
connected interfaces, the word distance no longer carries the same definition. Even though events might happen in one corner of the world, they travel fast, and the whole world knows about it. A call to action in one city can spread and turn into worldwide action in a matter of hours. Unfortunately, hateful incitement also travels fast, and one person can call for the harm of someone or a group of people, and someone on the other side of the planet ends up feeling unsafe, harassed, injured, murdered. Words and calls to action online lead to direct consequences. Information travels fast, but disinformation travels faster. Hamas's use of psychological warfare hasn't and won't stop. Hamas's stated mission to annihilate all Jews doesn't just apply to those in Israel. Every innocent person attacked in the name of Hamas is a person attacked in the name of terrorism. Hamas is not just a constant danger to Israelis or Gazans or to the people in the region. Hamas is a danger to everyone, everywhere, and we will stop them.
That was a video that was posted earlier today by the IDF. Let's see what else we can find in terms of updates. We know that it's been confirmed that the hostages have been handed to the Red Cross and should be making their way back to Israel as we speak. Not overly sure what we're going to see on this camera, but they do keep switching between the Ofer prison in Israel and the Rafah crossing, which is what you can see here. But it's just very dark, so you can't really see a great deal. On Bloomberg earlier, just released actually, Israel and Hamas agreed to extend a ceasefire which was initially due to end Tuesday morning in their devastating war following tense negotiations over the release of more hostages held by the militant group in Gaza. That's from Bloomberg about 5 minutes ago. Israel and Hamas agreed to extend this ceasefire. That's what we've been hearing really for the past couple of hours. It looks like it's something that's pretty much been signed and sealed. Whether or not it'll be delivered after the past couple of days, we'll wait and see. Seems as though as everything really looks like it's going well, things really break down quite quickly. One second, guys.
أنت
Just changing a few things around. Should have really got all this prepared before we came on tonight, but bear with me. A couple of things are slightly misbehaving. Okay, we'll do without that for now.
לא, יש אחד שצריך להגיע ממצפה רמון, אז הוא האחרון, ומנפחה שזה גם ממצפה רמון. לא, נפחה זה מצפה רמון, אותו אחד. אוקיי. אבל יש מקציעות, קציעות ונפחה. קציעות ונפחה, זה שני מרחקים יותר גדולים. מה שצריך, זה מגידו, מה שצריך להגיע זה דמון. עוד אוטובוס אחד. דמון, מגידו, עופר, קציעות, רמון ונפחה. לא, עופר הזה זה. עופר יש כמה שגם פה. אוקיי. אני שלום, עוד שתיים נשאר. לא, דמון נפחה. אני לא יודע כמה חבר'ה יושבים.
And again, that camera has changed now to just outside Alpha Prison in Israel, switching between the Rafah crossing and this. Not a great deal happening at both at the minute.
לדעתי במקסימום אולי יש שם 8. אפילו פחות. כמה זה? 30? 33. כן.
יש, הנה הוא, הנה עוד אחד. לא, מדבר על הדברים האלה, שלושתם.
Have a look at some of the latest updates. And again, this is what we were confirming earlier. Israel and Hamas agreed to extend truce for 2 more days. And that should see... Well, they were saying 10 hostages per day to be released. So hopefully another 20 hostages inside the next couple of days. Plenty of movement now on the Alpha prison camera. Change the strap. We're doing this all night. We're going to keep switching. And as soon as we do this, we'll probably switch it again and we'll have to reword it. It's good to be accurate. And a post from Rebecca Rodriguez earlier saying, very interesting, why did Kirby say that Biden was working hour by hour to release the hostages? So it looks like President Biden's right at the forefront to try and get the hostages released. I think many countries are at the minute. Everyone's trying to work collectively to find some solution before Israel, restart the campaign. Which they promised to do. They did yesterday. They came out and said without a shadow of a doubt one of the goals is to eliminate Hamas. Interesting post here that says on the Israeli side there is a clear political and popular division regarding what are the priorities of the war. There is a great popular pressure led by the families of the hostages that considers the priority to be release of the hostages through negotiations. So today then, 11 Israeli hostages have reached Israel, 9 children and 2 women. That's making it 51 Israeli hostages released in 4 pulses, 4 days. 161 Israeli hostages remain in Hamas captivity. The pause in combat has been extended 2 days, intended to further release more hostages.
זינזנה, פוסטה.
איך? פוסטה? כן, זהו.
כן, יש גם אתר כזה, פוסטה. כלילים? כן.
לא, היה. עכשיו צריך להגיע עוד מילים משלך.
עוד 2, לא?
עוד 2?
נפחה נפחה.
למה לא?
נפחה זה רמון?
נפחה זה רמון, זה אותו דבר. יש פה גם אחריה, אתה רואה? קטנה, אנשים עובדים יפים.
פה היה מגידו ודמון, נפחה, נשאר עוד אחד, אבל לפחות 45. מה אמרתי לך? מה שעה עכשיו? אמרת לי 12, עכשיו אנחנו רבע ל-10. לא, לא יכול להיות רבע ל-11. 11. תודה רבה. רבע ל-10. אז עוד שעה ורבע. יחי, יש עליך מכשיר? אין לי שעה? בוא נסע האוטו. בוא נעשה.
A little bit like the calm before the storm, isn't it? Because we know the hostages are on the way back to Israel. We know they're currently with the Red Cross, but it's just that waiting period now between them, you know, being with the Red Cross and then the images of them arriving back into Israel. Usually takes a little bit of time. Got to make sure that they're okay and that need immediately transfer into hospital. I mean, they'll all go there for checks anyway, but as we know yesterday, there was a few hostages that were released that weren't in particularly great health either. And there's so many posts that you see on Twitter at the minute that you really just don't know how to take it. One from Sarah Wilkinson: my daughter felt like a queen in Gaza, says Israeli hostage released by Hamas. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Michael Horowitz has just put an interesting post out that says, new, according to Israeli TV, an Israeli intelligence officer had warned months before October 7 that she felt that Hamas was not just training but preparing for an attack. Says, this is after she saw exercises being carried out by the group. She felt this was an operational plan and even titled her first email, Death in the Kibbutz. She was told by a senior officer that she was imagining things and that the exercise was nothing out of the ordinary. Interesting. You do wonder how much intelligence they had. They must, I mean, from looking from the outside in, you'd have thought they must have had something.
פחית צבע כזאת להוריד רגליים. איפה? במקום? אלה באים כאילו הם חזרו מעזה.
Let's see that post. I've just retweeted it on X. I'm not sure there's another term for that yet, is there? That's a post from Michael Horowitz. According to Israeli TV, an Israeli intelligence officer had warned months before October 7 that she felt that Hamas was not just training but preparing for an attack. This is after she saw exercises being carried out by the group. She felt this was an operational plan and even titled her first email "Death in the Kibbutz." She was told by a senior officer that she was imagining things and that the exercise was nothing out of the ordinary.
White phosphorus burns in the Gaza.
And there's a video I want to show you actually that's on Twitter at the minute. This is from Sky News. Surgeon who worked at both Al Shifa and Al Ahil Ali. Been a long day. Hospital in Gaza held a news conference to describe his experiences. He says that phosphorus gas was used in Gaza. Have a look at that.
שתעביר את המסר.
תעביר את המסר שב-11:05 המצלמה נכבדת.
זהו, אני לא יכול לקחת מייפי כל כך הרבה חשמל, יחייבו אותי. אם הערוץ רוצה לשלם מייפי...
אין בעיה, נעשה עסק.
מי?
Okay, let's show you this. Well, the surgeon who worked at both Al Shifa and I can't say this word, Ali Hospital in Gaza held a news conference to describe his experiences. He says that phosphorus gas was used in Gaza.
Seeing phosphorus burns. I had treated white phosphorus burns in the Gaza Strip during the 2009 war and was very familiar with the very characteristic injuries and burns that they make. As a chemical burn, phosphorus burns burn right through to the inner core of the body and only stop when they have no exposure to oxygen. And so the burns would be...
I'll replay it again for you.
Started seeing phosphorus burns. I had treated white phosphorus burns in the Gaza Strip during the 2009 war and was very familiar with the very characteristic injuries and burns that they make. As a chemical burn, phosphorus burns burn right through to the inner core of the body and only stop when they have no exposure to oxygen. And so the burns would be, the patient would be basically puckered with burns that core right into the ribs, the bones, and unlike thermal burns that spread from the surface more horizontally.
And some breaking news that's just coming in from the IDF. They've confirmed that the hostages have now arrived in Israel. Bringing up post. Just looking for official confirmation. There's reports that the hostages are now back in Israel. I just want to find something a bit more secure before I say they are. Okay, this is a post, official statement from the IDF that's been put out. And let's get this up and I can show you what this says. Okay, so this is a post that's been put out by the IDF. It's an official statement. November 27, 2023. The released hostages are being accompanied by IDF forces and are now in Israeli territory. IDF Special Forces and ISA forces are currently accompanying 11 released hostages in Israeli territory. After they undergo an initial medical assessment of their health, our forces will accompany them until they are reunited with their families. The Israeli Defense Force salutes and embraces the released hostages upon their return home. The IDF, together with the entire Israeli security establishment, will continue operating until all the hostages are returned home. The IDF spokesman reiterates the importance of demonstrating patience and sensitivity during this time out of respect for the released hostages and their families. That is a statement that's just been put out a few minutes ago by the Israeli Defense Force. Again, if you want to see that, I'll retweet it on X. So there we go, that's now on X. I've put that back on there for you all to see. For some reason, X decided to delete it the first time I put it on there. Released hostages are being accompanied by the IDF forces and now in Israeli territory. Official statement from the IDF. IDF Special Forces and ISA forces are currently accompanying 11 released hostages in Israeli territory. After they undergo an initial medical assessment of their health, our forces will accompany them until they are reunited with their families. The Israel Defense Forces salutes and embraces the released hostages upon their return home. The IDF, together with the entire Israeli security establishment, will continue operating until all the hostages are returned home. The IDF spokesman reiterates the importance of demonstrating patience and sensitivity during this time of respect for the released hostages and their families. Just released a few minutes ago from the IDF. But no news that I've seen as yet as in terms of how many prisoners are going the other direction. There may have been, maybe something I've missed. We'll have a look, see if we can find information on it, but I've not seen anything yet on that. Have a look. And I genuinely have no idea what the stream is showing us at the minute. I presume it's just an overlook of Israel, but as soon as I change the tag at the top, they'll change the camera again. The truce extended by 2 days, 20 more hostages and 60 Palestinians to be released after 150 Palestinians and 50 Israelis released in 4-day truce. Extension means there's here hopes for the remaining hostages and prisoners and time for Hamas to reorganize. That's the concern. That's the concern that Israel have at the minute. The fact that are they going to take this opportunity to reorganize, better prepare for when and if Israel restart the ground campaign? That's the risk. But I'm sure Israel will have thought about the potential risk and potentially about what the outcome could be and the problems they could face. And there's a story here. I don't know if this is true or not. Again, this is just a report. I don't know if it's genuine. It says this is real. A Palestinian prisoner refused to be released from an Israeli prison today. Hamas gives Israel the list of prisoners. It is rumored that Hamas is sending the older males to Gaza and fight for Hamas. He elected to stay in prison.
نعم شرف مسوي زوم الصحافة يعني يعطيك العافية خير. لا لا مش راح أصيب ولا يهم. أنت بتشوفها ما
Okay, here's a video that I want to show you. This has just been released by the IDF. IDF footage shows the moment the 11 Israeli hostages entered Israeli territory. Let's have a look at that. Give me one moment. It's working so bad tonight, that.
همام شو اللي انت حافظه؟ همام MYM.
And here's the video that I was trying to show you earlier. Have a look here. IDF footage shows the moment the 11 Israeli hostages entered Israeli territory. You'll be able to see that now. And there's the cars just crossing over back into Israel. And the video again, in case you missed it. IDF footage shows the moment the Israeli hostages re-entered Israel territory. And you can see the cars crossing back into Israel. And I'll do the video again because I'm not sure that I remember to unmute the microphone, which is very lazy of me, so I apologise. This is a video of the IDF forces re-entering Israel territory with the hostages. We said it before, but this is the quiet part. This is the part where the hostages have now been released by Hamas. They're on the way back into Israel. IDF have now confirmed that they're, now in Israeli territory. We're just waiting for information really on how many prisoners have been released from Israel back into the hands of Hamas as well. Fairly quiet on that. Stream is flicking between different feeds at the minute. This one is showing the Rafah crossing. Every time I change the strap at the top of the page, it will change something else, so we're going to leave it as it is. A couple of times we've been seeing a live stream of just overlooking Gaza, Israel, and I wish we had a stream of Gaza, but we don't. And other times it will flick to a stream of the Ofa prison in Israel as well. And we're still looking for information in terms of how many prisoners have been released from Israel back to Hamas, and I just can't find that information at the minute. So if you know it, if you see it, send it me. And in the meantime, we'll have a look and see what else we can find on social media. But this could be the quiet time. Generally, over the past couple of days, we've seen 2 or 3 hours where we've had plenty of activity. Then it slows down and it almost stops, which is it's good because it just means that everything is going as it should be going. Yesterday was a day where lots of upheaval. No one really knew if it was going to happen, if it was not going to happen. There was arguments over the deal. At one point we thought it was going to be off. Today's been a lot smoother, much more like the first day. And then obviously today it's been announced that the truce has been extended for 2 more days as well. And don't forget, if you're watching on Twitch, give us a follow on there. If you're watching on YouTube, then like and share the video as well. It's the way that other people get to find us. And again, the camera's just switched now to outside the Ophir prison. Nothing tends to happen on this stream very often, but this is where the prisoners are going to be released back to Hamas. And today again, we've not seen a massive amount of action. Can't really find any information in terms of how many prisoners are being released back. I'm looking for it.
يعبر على تل ابيب مثلا على الحدود يعني نص وين باب البرق؟ لا بس مسك مش نفر مسكوا مضرب صواريخ بتعرف شو؟ مجرى مي وكهرباء والشرب انا هسه بوصلوه بسيارة ولا مش؟ لا برميهم على البواب لا ولا بجيب كبات باص الى الاحمر برنامج عشان زي كل واحد فوق بيته لا يوم التوبه غير كيف
And again, the camera feed just switched back to what I think I'm going to imagine is just a view of Israel. Nice. Made the picture a lot better, but difficult to see at night, but just about as good as we're going to get it. Nice view, just not a great deal happening. Okay, let's have a look and see if there's any more updates at the minute. We've really covered the main part of the evening. I wouldn't really expect to see too much happen from now on in. And again, that poster's there again by a different source. A Gazan terrorist who was released in a hostage deal refused to be released from the Israeli prison. Posted by Avishai Grunzweig. There's a post from the Israeli War Room here that says Mewi Shoma, 26, and Stephanie Gonzalez, 25, have been arrested and charged with hate crimes for assaulting a Jewish woman who called them out for tearing down posters of Israeli hostages. And just an update on a story that we covered the other day, the terrible events in Dublin City where several people were stabbed. We heard that a girl was taken to hospital, and RTE News, Irish News, have just put a story out here that says a 5-year-old girl remains in a critical condition in hospital following a knife attack in Parnell Square in Dublin city centre last Thursday. And again, that's just been posted from the RTE News, which is the news service in Ireland. President Biden, there was a post on the 26th of November here that says a two-state solution is the only way to guarantee the long-term security of both the Israel and Palestinian people, to make sure Israelis and Palestinians alike can live in equal measures of freedom and dignity. We will not give up on working towards this goal. And there's a picture from Aviva Klumpus as well that says an 8-year-old Israeli hostage, Yuval Engel, was wheeled to the Red Cross. And there's a photo there on X of the Hamas fighter seemingly pushing the girl towards the Red Cross in the wheelchair. And a post from Mohammed Shahada that says more footage emerges from Gaza amid the temporary truce, showcasing how Israel has been methodically wiping out as much of the besieged enclave as possible. Okay, I think for now we'll wrap up this evening's stream. Thank you for joining me. It's been an interesting day, a day where everything seemingly went pretty much as it was expected to go, which is good. Main takeaway points from this evening, of course, is the hostages are now back in Israeli territory. That's been confirmed by the IDF. That will see the exchange for prisoners given back from Israel to Hamas. And the truce has been extended for 2 days, so it was supposed to end. It will now go on for another 48 hours, which should see another 20 hostages released from Israel back, from Hamas back to Israel, and then of course in return more prisoners going from Israel back to Hamas as well. But any more developments, of course, will come back this evening. Hopefully it stays nice and quiet. And more developments tomorrow, I'm sure. If anything breaks in the meantime, we'll be back. Have a nice evening. Take care.